Devourer fight can be broken down into 4 phases. First, we have to survive the first 2 Devours. Afterwards, we need to stabilize and output more healing than damage we're taking. Afterwards, we can kill the minions. Then, we kill the boss. During phase 1, 2, and 3, you're primarily going to be using your side deck. This means that you can discard all of your main hand cards, except for Brace, and go for your side deck. Before the fight, make sure to set your Arc Mastery to life, so you gain life pips throughout the fight. Immediately, what must be drawn is Brace. Afterwards, look for Sanctuary and Satyr. Turn 1 is the best time to Sanctuary, otherwise Empower. If nothing else, passing is your best option. Once we get devoured, we're going to Fortify immediately, and afterwards, assuming Devourer doesn't gaze a fate, we go for the Satyr. If Devourer does gaze a fate, you may need to hold off, use Empower, and go for another Sanctuary. Don't be afraid to restart the fight if you have to. Some contributing factors to losing the fight include not going first, which means you can take more damage than usual, not drawing Brace or Satyr on the turns you need them, or other things such as getting stunned. Once we come out of the second Devour, it should be your goal to immediately Fortify, and then follow it up with Regenerate. Here I get stunned, so my health is going to be lower than in a perfect fight. However, I notice that my life is still high enough to take all of the potential hits from the enemies, therefore I continue to go for the Regenerate over the Satyr, which should be used if you immediately need help. Now the battle is a matter of surviving and stabilizing. Stabilizing is effectively when you're outputting more healing than the enemies are outputting damage. During this time, make liberal use of Empower and make sure that Fortify or Brace is up every turn. At this point I'm feeling pretty safe with 2 regenerates on me, so I start to Blade, but I immediately get punished by an Earthquake. Afterwards, I go for a double Blade, but once again before I Squall I get Earthquake. It's good to calculate your damage before the fight. It turns out I needed either a double Blade Squall or just 2 no Blade Squalls. So at the end of the day it was better if I just double Squalled. Regardless, we get through it all, and the minions die, and it turns into a 1v1 with the boss. Once we kill the minions, our priority is to reshuffle. Afterwards, we'll continue to stabilize by using Fortify off cooldown and healing with Regenerate. During this time, you can start to Blade. Begin with Elemental Blade, wait until the boss steals your Fire Blade, then you can go for a Storm Blade. The turn immediately after your Storm Blade, make sure to cover it up with another Elemental Blade or Aegis Blade. Supercharge can be used here when you hit full pips. This will give you a big increase in damage, meaning you don't have to use every blade in the deck to kill the boss. If you were watching, my health got very low there. This is because I simply didn't need to heal. If you feel safer healing, I definitely recommend it. It's best not to die to something you're unaware of, but I feel pretty safe in this fight, and Devourer doesn't have any damage that can kill me in a spike. The fight ends with a combo of Shrike, Enfeeble, and then Storm Scion. You must find a time to Enfeeble immediately after he steals a blade, so he cannot steal a blade the turn after you Enfeeble. Additionally, Devourer does know the spell Blade Storm, but he's less likely to use this spell if he has 6 pips. If you don't find your opportunity, you can always go back to reshuffling and healing, but the likelihood of him using a Blade Storm on 6 pips is incredibly low. Well, he didn't block. That's a kill, right? He fell over. Nice. Alright, we got it. Easy. I did it on Storm.